Welcome to the REALL Academy, brought to you each Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time by the
Systems Doctors,
Dr. Sheka Houston and Dr. Tammy Taylor, best-selling authors, consultants, and speakers of Create and Educate LLC. Create and Educate LLC is an educational consultant and literary firm that provides professional development to schools and community. Their goal is to transform organizations with the REALL Resilient framework used to increase their school report card grades 2 and 3 grade levels in 1 year. REALL stands for Respect, Excellence, Accountability, Literacy, and Leadership. This framework is used to coach leaders and teachers and build student efficacy while putting systems in place that aligns the work of the school improvement, making the process manageable. When the work is manageable, teachers and leaders don't stress out or burn out.
the Systems Doctor.
Alignment systems are designed to help schools evolve and grow, all while instituting protocols and processes designed to promote collaboration and collegiality. The implementation of the alignment framework prevents some of the most common problems in education, where leaders sometimes aren't sure where to start, or in our new age of educating, leaders need a trusted sounding board that allows them to be vulnerable and transparent, preventing loneliness at the top. The framework doesn't just help leaders, but also prevents teachers from burning out from too many initiatives and embracing teachers as they are the experts. Finally, the framework extends to the children, helping them get engaged in school and solving a nationwide problem. Alignment systems are frequently referred to as a key element of success in the improvement process. In the sport of rowing, all rowers must put their oars in the water, succinctly creating a system for their boat to reach maximum speed. So schools that want to improve are bringing in
the Systems Doctors
to teach them all about the alignment systems that must be in place for school improvement to be accomplished at high levels. The dynamic duo provides insights into educational topics through their international platform, which includes educators, parents, and community members as a way to support important entities that make communities thrive. This is their way to pay it forward and provide the support they needed through their platform. Take a look. People who work with the
Systems Doctors
describe them as an excellent and inspiring group of leaders. They get into the weeds of work with leaders through their TrustMate Institute that you should contact them about today by filling out the contact form on their website.
It's Super Saturday, everyone. Welcome to episode 195 of the REALL Academy, brought to you by Create and Educate with your very own Systems Doctors, HERS. I'm Dr. Sheka Houston.
Good morning, and I'm Dr. Tammy Taylor. Welcome.
Welcome, everyone. If this is your first time tuning in at Create and Educate, we create and educate so that you can thrive. And this live stream platform is a part of that creativity.
And when we work with schools using our lived experiences of raising our school report card levels 2 and 3 levels at the elementary and middle school level, making these decisions based around research-based instructional strategies.
Most definitely. And a big part of our work is making sure that staffs understand that a lot of this turnaround work that we do, it really does start with belief and mindset. That's what our episode was about last week. If you were not able to catch that, you can go back and catch the replay on YouTube or wherever you prefer to watch. We stream on multiple platforms, but it starts with belief. If you do not believe that students can do great things, if you don't have high expectations, if you don't make them believe that they can do hard things, then those hard things during the turnaround process will not happen. So a big part of that messaging that we start off with is belief. And it's a part of our It's Being Done series. We want teachers and students to know that this type of work is not only still being done, but it's something that has been done multiple times, where students and teachers took on that hard work, they had the belief, and they were able to thrive and turn their schools around.
And we come to you this morning as a part of our live stream network, the Fantastic Four, that starts each Saturday at 10 a.m. with Principal Sean Hurt, and then followed by yours truly, Create and Educate, at 10:30. And then the AP and New Principals Academy with the GOAT and the Leader's Mentor, Principal Kafele. And then we complete on Sunday evenings on the PGP podcast with Principal Josh Tovar and Dr. Mari Moreno.
Most definitely. And shout out to Charity Hurt. She is graduating this weekend, and that's why Principal Hurt was not on. So congratulations to her. I know that the family, Erica and Principal Hurt, are so proud of her, and we are also proud of her as well. Great work. So please like, share, subscribe, send the stars, do all of the things that the platforms do. And we definitely appreciate you helping us get the word out about this message. We have an event today. We're at the family conference, Breakthrough Family Conference here in Chester at the Gateway. So if you are in the Chester area, come on down. We'll be here until 4:30. Food will be provided, but that is why we're pre-recorded today. So normally we will have our Real Fam shout outs, but because we're pre-recorded, we will be live with you in the comments. And we thank you all for joining us. We do not take it lightly. We know that you could be doing multiple other things, but you are intentional about being here with us every Saturday, and we appreciate you.
Definitely. And if we say something that resonates today, even though we're not on, you can still drop a reel in the comments.
Most definitely. So that brings us to episode 195 of the REALL Academy, when students know who they are. And this really gets into that identity piece. And we know that there's lots of messaging going around erasing certain types of culturally relevant teaching or culturally consciousness. But we do know a study from Duke University, and that's some of the things we're going to be talking about today, showed how when students are involved in African center type programs where they're learning about their history, their culture, and their identity, what they have seen when students are tested in those areas is that they exhibit a 40 percentile point difference in a lot of their testing. So we know that there is research to support that making sure students understand who they are knowledgeable about their history and what they come from, and also having a sense of pride in that really does transfer to state testing. And we don't think that it's just important for testing, because we know that there's more to students than just tests, but it also gives them that confidence, and also that that part where they need to understand who they are so they can function in society.
Yes, and I think that most of the time when we're thinking about just that self-awareness and the appreciation for who you are, it all goes back to having a deep understanding of why you're here and who you belong to, because belonging is a big part of understanding and connecting with who you are and where you come from. So when you're thinking about it, and you really want kids to be able to identify with themselves, teaching them about their history is very important. and teaching them about their family dynamics and the history in a particular family are all important strategies for doing that. But the most important thing that I think we wanted our children to take away from experiencing experiences like those is the fact that it's okay. I can come from generational poverty. I can come from generations of trauma. I can come from generations of dysfunction and mishaps. However, because I know who I am, I also know that I have the capacity to rise above all that. So I think teaching students to appreciate who they are, yes, it'll help academically. She could just reference a study that confirms that. But what we really want is for kids to internalize that so that they can go forward and be the people that they've been called to be, so that we know that they can accomplish big things, great things, despite whenever and wherever you started this journey, because it began long, long, long before that.
Most definitely, Tammy. And if you tune in to Principal Kafele, if you've heard him speak before, if you've ever heard Dr. Chika Akua speak before, they are testaments to that, because they talk about in their own story about their own learning being activated when they came into contact with their own cultural heritage, their history, the things that ignited them and made them interested in learning. So there is so many pieces of evidence of proof that this works and is important. And when you think about the flip side of it, when you look at patients who develop dementia or amnesia and can't remember who they are, they don't know how to get back home. They don't recognize people. They don't know where they're going. And so when you have a loss of identity, those same things are true. You will take on what Dr. Akua calls the the identities that are placed on you instead of actual identities that you should subscribe to. So when you look at what popular pieces of things are in the media, from music to television, and how we're portrayed many times, a lot of times it's not positive. And so that's why it's so important for our students to understand that starting out, we were in charge of nations, the pyramid building, the start of medicine, the start of mathematics, the start of science started with us. So when they understand who they are, they don't subscribe to the only thing that I can do is play a sport or, you know, do something else that a lot of times is stereotypical. And there's nothing wrong with playing a sport. There are several people who are very talented, and if that's the thing that you want to do, that's great. What we're saying is we don't want the messaging to be that that is the only thing that you can do, because our children can be successful in any industry because we started multiple industries.
Definitely. And we know that sports are a big thing in our community, and we celebrate and validate it because that is the way that many of our kids thrive, and that's how they shine. But the reality of things, and this is where we have to be and keep it real with our children, there's a very small percentage of us, even as gifted as we are and talented in sports, there are only a very small percentage of athletes who go into the pro level of playing any sport. So we have to have a backup plan. We're talented in sports. We're many of our kids are absolutely phenomenal entertainers. They're comedians, and they have the talent to sing and dance, and all those things again are incredible. However, when you think about the entertainment industry, how many of those folks are functioning at what we would consider a professional level? So you want children to have a backup plan, and the way we make sure that they understand that you can do many things is we have to take them all the way back, help them to understand that our philosophers, ancient Egyptian philosophers, were the ones whose feet that Plato and Aristotle, those men sat at the feet of the African philosophers many years ago. And because of that, we can instill in our kids that this is not a new thing. Like this isn't our first time around. So you possess what it takes to be successful in any arena. Yes, we'll do what we do, and we'll celebrate you with whatever that is that you're doing. But you need to know what your options are, and you need to know why. Because those Greek philosophers are the ones who are credited with being the deep thinkers and the ones who laid the foundation for how to philosophize. But what you have to do is you have to think about the fact that those men learned from ancient philosophers. So we just want to make sure that we are sending that message that we don't have to be in that identity crisis that Sheka is talking about. Our children don't have to be there. We can help them to understand who they are, why they are.
Most definitely. And that is the entire motivation behind the children's series that we have written. And our first book is due to come out. It has to be next month. We're still waiting on 2 illustrations, and I think he's almost finished with those. But we are completely excited that Amir's Awakening will help take families really into From Classroom to Consciousness is the subtitle. So we don't want to, give too much away about the book, but in Amir's Awakening, that is exactly what happens. There is an identity that is discovered that wasn't there before. Tammy, did you want to go into any details?
Well, I mean, not to spoil, because we want you to purchase it and see for yourself how Amir's journey changes him as a young man. And I'll leave it at that, because it's a great segue into what we're talking about today, and helping children to understand that I am on purpose. I'm purposefully here. Everything about me means something. So just know that I think we're certain that you will enjoy the entire series. But Amir's Awakening is the first of the 5-part series that you'll have access to soon.
Most definitely. And it comes with a guide that also helps, an activity guide that also helps guide the activities even after you read the book. So when we're talking about discovering your history, there, I will give this part away for the activity guide. There is a portion in there, and this is something that families could do together, where they're researching who the part of their history that may be missing or that they have not learned, that helps them connect with this identity that we're talking about. Because when you're not aware of what you actually come from and your heritage and your lineage, then you do subscribe to the things that you see in the media. And then that's when we start to see our children mimicking those things that they see on television, see on YouTube, watch in movies. So we want to be more intentional, and we want families to be more intentional about defining for your family what your family legacy is. What does it mean to be a Taylor? What does it mean to be a Houston? And you define that for your family based on things that you all are researching together. And not only does it help with understanding, but it also helps to build relationships with the youth. And that's another part of the work that we do, with making sure that we're connecting generationally, because we know, and I'm guilty of it myself, A lot of times with the electronics, with all of the things that are happening in families, children a lot of times will come home. They'll turn on YouTube, they'll turn on the television, the streaming networks, and then you may be working on your computer or doing whatever. But we do want family time to be something that is intentional. So another part of that activity guide is making sure that we're taking that time to build those relationships within our families so that we can connect across generations, and we can make sure the things that we want to be passed down and mimicked from our home are actually the things that are happening.
Yes, and one I think important aspect of that is ensuring that as you are going through those activities and as you're having those conversations about your family dynamics, that you are empowering your children. So this is also a way for us to help families, to the adults in the family, to appreciate who you are and who you are to your children, because they really learn part of that identity from the way you handle who you are as a family. So just taking that time and spending time to define, if you've never done it before, who we are and why we can't go to school and act certain ways, or why you cannot go out and embarrass me because you are Taylor. You know better. Taylor don't do that.
Exactly. And so there's multiple things that will be a part of this series, to include an animated channel. We're really excited about that. That will go into more detail or dialogue than the book, but the book is phenomenal. There'll be a coloring book along with the activity guide, and then those other part of the series, the other 4 books in the series, will continue to come out, and they will have the same things associated with them. So no matter what is happening around us, I've been saying Rome is burning for a really long time. No matter what is happening, we have to take certain things when it comes to our children into our hands, and we cannot leave it up to other people to do the things that we know are the right things to do with our children. So as soon as the book is released and the animated channel along with the activity guide and coloring book, we will definitely release those links, let you know, because we want everyone to be able to take part in all of the information. It's really great work that we've done to put into this book, and we think a lot of people are going to enjoy it.
And I do believe that it doesn't matter if you're using it in your family, your biological assigned family, if you're using it in your school family, if you're using it with your church family. The message is what matters. And what we want to make sure is we're helping to strengthen SEL, because as Sheka said, we're in a very crucial time right now, and people in general are under attack, but we as a people are facing lots of erasure. And so we want to make sure that we're helping our children to understand and appreciate exactly who they are and where they've come from.
Most definitely. And the last thing that I'll add, we do have another series that goes along with that called The Real Me for Girls and The Real Me for Boys. And just as Tammy stated, that series is something that's electronic, and it's done through modules, but it's again a way for families to build that knowledge together, but also work together as a family as they're going through it. It's designed to be facilitated by an adult, so it could be brought by the family, it could be something that's done in church, or a school right now is actually using it with their girls. So we will make sure that information is available to you, because that's already available. But thank you so much for joining us. Please join Principal Kafele next on his page. We know that he will have a phenomenal guest, and we will see you right back here next Saturday, same time, same place, for the Fantastic Four.
Thank you all.
Let me push the right button. Here we go.